Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm John.
And we're the geezers on the go.
Go, go, go!
This time we're at Skidaway Island State Park near Savannah, Georgia. It has 87 campsites, 27 with full hookups, and miles of trails through maritime forests and salt marshes. Skidaway is located near Georgia's intercoastal waterway and has more wildlife than just about any other park we've seen. The campground certainly gets top billing here with its big sites, its playground bells, and deer all over the place. But there's also Savannah right next door, and all of its fine restaurants, shops, and museums. Plus the hustle and bustle of nearby Tybee Island, and its shops and ocean beaches. And finally, there's Fort Pulaski, standing guard over Savannah from our Revolutionary days to World War II. We're here at Skidaway Island State Park near Savannah, Georgia. And we're in site number 55, and as you can see, it's a very big site. It's a big pull-through, has water and electric, and you can look in the back here, there's nobody behind us, and you have a big platform area where your picnic table is. I suppose if you had either a screen house or even a tent, you could put that in there, but there's no one around this way. I mean, way over there, but nobody on this side, and you really can't see the next person for a good distance away. And there's lots of, as you can see, lots of big trees, lots of oak trees and Spanish moss. And take a quick walk around here. The only little odd thing about this campground, there's lots of different areas, but most of the roads are only this big, fit for one car. But it's a two-way road because the campers on that side come in from the other direction because the numbers are on the opposite side. So when somebody comes in, there is enough space here to move over, but it could be tricky if two people come in and neither one of them can move over. But on the whole, we're in section area 4, and it is very big spaces. Almost all the sites on this row are pull-throughs. So we'll take a little ride around the park and see what we can see. Good, we're in area 4. I think there's 4 or 5, maybe even 6 areas. They're all little small areas with lots of trees, and there is one section that does have full hookups. So I just wanted to get the lay of the land here where you can see you have a lot of space here. So you don't have to worry about anybody. Only thing, some of the road has some root problems, but that shouldn't deter you any. But let's see how much space between those two from that one probably is 57 up here to 59. And then there's a pretty cool one over here, another New Yorker over here. Look at the nice trees and seclusion you got. Down here is a little more of our area 4. And you see, this place, probably if they wanted to, they could put in a lot more campsites. But good for them, they didn't, to give everybody a lot of space. And back here is off Loop 4 here, or Area 4 is where the Yurts are. And we're going to go down here, which looks like camping area 3. Excuse the bumps on my bicycle. But back here again, these are mostly back ends, but there are some pull-throughs on the one side. The right side seems to have the back ends. And these other ones on this side are quite a few pull-throughs. Oh, I'm wrong, there's another pull-through here. So look, the whole section looks like it might be all pull-throughs. But they give you tons of space. That's what a lot of people would like about this park. The only maybe drawback to this park is you think you'd be by some water, but you're not. You have to go out to Tybee Island, which is I think 25 miles away, get to the beach. But if you're interested in seeing everything that Savannah has to offer, you come to the right place, because you're less than 15 miles probably from Savannah and all its attractions. But as you will notice again here, that this road is kind of small, but the campers or the sites are on both sides but going in opposite directions. You can tell by the way the numbers are and the way the water and electric is situated. So be aware, you might come down a narrow road like this and find somebody coming the opposite direction. Near the front of the campground, it's right before you get to section 1 and 2, there is a nice big bathhouse and there is a laundry room. It's pretty nice. I went in, and there's also another laundry room that's down at all the way at the other end by us on area 4. But again, you get nice big spaces and not too far a walk from here to the bathrooms. And I noted that the bathrooms are heated, so if you took a shower, you wouldn't get too cold, especially in the winter. These sites that start around number 40 are really big, straight pull-throughs. And they also have full hookups in here. So you got lots of space to move, to go straight through with full hookups. These are the numbers in the 40s and in the low 30s. Yes, and this road continues down. We got into the 30s, now the high 20s. And again, these are straight big pull-throughs, no curves, just straight through with sewer. Lots of trees in between, because there's one space and there's the next one. So they don't cramp your style at all in this Skidaway Island Park. Over here, as soon as you come into Area 1 and Area 2, there are some cabins. Looks to be 3 back here. They look pretty nice. Look like they've been upgraded, and they lots of space in front and back to maybe play a game or two, and a fire pit. So you wouldn't have a bad time staying in something like that too, besides the campground and the yurt. Just down a little bit from our camping area, we're in area 4, there are 3 yurts, and they look to be brand new. I'm not sure if anybody's even been in, and there's 3 of them along the way, and they look to have some bunk beds in them and a big table. Let's see if we can sort of see in here. You can sort of see over here, you can see it's in there. Looks like a table and a bed, I think. But anyway, so it has a area over here, picnic area, table, grill, and then you have this big open space out to the back to look over, I don't know, marsh. Maybe you get to see deer come through.
One thing we noticed right away about the park was we were outnumbered and surrounded by the deer. They were everywhere, and they sure didn't seem concerned about us being there.
Skidaway's many trails are also a great place to watch for wildlife, like fiddler crabs or maybe alligators. This is called the Sandpiper Trail. I said this comes right out from behind where the office is in the visitor center, and it looks like it has a lot of boardwalks so you can walk across the marsh, and it'd be great if you're a birder. There's lots of marshland out on this side, and in the softer dirt you could see some fiddler crabs. That's on this side. And as you go over here, it looks like it must be very low tide or hasn't been much water coming in here because it's very dry. But I could just saw a little fiddler crab down over in that little mud flat. But maybe come out here in the evening, I bet you see some more deer. This is a tidal creek that flows through the park. And sometimes they say they call this nature's nursery, because when the tides come in, it brings in more water, which brings in more nutrients and more fish to feed everybody. Took one of the trails, I think it's called the Big Ferry Trail, and it comes out down here to what's called the Alligator Pond, and I don't see anything. I think I'm walking down a real big long trail. Maybe it's about half a mile down to here. Well, coming down that same trail, I came out to this pretty spot where they put a nice park bench you can sit, and you could come out here and look at the beautiful marshland. We're making our way across the marsh on the wooden bridge to the observation tower.
Yeah, you know, this isn't the normal kind of place you'd find this because there's no water here.
Right. There's a little bit, but kind of far away.
Yeah, I mean, there's rivers and stuff, and you can find places to go kayak or go fish.
Right.
But
there are some boat launches not that far from here.
We're kind of spoiled. We're kind of used to being right on the water. But
it's a beautiful campground.
Yeah, and it's got big open spaces, a lot of pull-throughs, got some full hookups, mostly water and electric though. But tell them what you... Usually I go around. A lot of people do this, and you write down what spaces you like, so for next time. This place I did more spaces I didn't like because there's so many good spaces. It's really, I would say, spacious. There's probably less than 90 spots, but almost all of them have so much space around them that you don't see your neighbors and you don't feel crowded. And every once in a while, the spaces are so many trees. Yeah,
some deer come to visit.
We got woods behind us, and the deer come in, and, and we can take pictures of deers.
Right.
There's other things to do around here too, of course. I think the main draw to this park, since there's no beach here, is Savannah.
Yeah, Savannah is
so close.
Savannah is like less than 15 miles into the main part of Savannah.
Well, and we're almost in the city limits of Savannah.
Technically, the address says Savannah, but if you're going to Savannah, if you like it, there's a million of restaurants. We went and visited a museum, so there's enough to do there. But there's other stuff too.
And there's like Tybee Island, which is
about 20 miles.
Yeah, and got lots of beaches. When we were there, of course, it looked like a spring break there.
St. Patrick's Day.
We kind of took a look at all the kids and went, we'll let them have the beach. Next time, yeah. But we did go to
Fort Pulaski.
One of our favorite places to go, a fort.
Yeah. And it had some Civil War history, had some cool stuff.
It had history going all the way back to the Revolution and stretching all the way to World War II.
Right. So there's lots to do, and
we're going to show it to you.
Yeah, we're going to show you. Well, this is the ships of the Sea Museum here in Savannah. To come in here, it was a restoration of someone's house, and we're in downtown Savannah, and we've never been here before, so it should be interesting. This is the USS Savannah that was used in, well, not this boat, but a replica used in World War II. It was called a light cruiser, although it was a pretty big sized boat or ship. This is kind of interesting. This ship, I think it's called the Kansas City, and they give you a little cutaway of what some of the ships might have looked like inside. Whoever built these little models are, wow, so detailed. These were rolling pins that were filled with salt, and the sailor would give them to his wife or girlfriend to put them on the mantelpiece while they were gone. And the superstition was if it fell off the mantelpiece while they were gone, it meant that they perished at sea. Whew.
You learn something every day. According to this, when the Civil War started, the South had very few ships, but one of the ships that did come to assist them was the America, which was the ship that won the first America's Cup.
Oh.
And it ran the northern blockade several times.
Yeah, there's a little map down there, and
yeah, I don't know what became of it, but that was very interesting to me because I've been to the America's Cup and
covered it.
Obviously I've never been to the Civil War.
Right. Now these are really cool. This is scrimshaw, or like a writing or art that people would put on bones and whale bones, and it was very intricate. I happen to have a pair of earrings at home that are scrimshaw, but this is like little boats and teeth and tusks.
We also took a run out to Tybee Island, a very popular tourist getaway. Maybe a little too popular for us. We're on Tybee Island right now in the beach area. It's St. Patrick's Day and the beginning of spring break, so we're not going to avail ourselves of the beach here because it's just a little too nutty for us. There's a lot of activity in the bars and restaurants and on the beach, so we will let the St. Patrick's Day revelers have this day, and we will live to fight another day. Boy, if you didn't want it, this would be the place to get it. This is obviously the nerve center of St. Patrick's Day. And the beach is straight ahead of us. And that, my friends, is as close as we'll get to the beach today. Now, on to someplace a little more to our taste and sensibilities. Fort Pulaski. Jill's about to go into Fort Pulaski now. A very significant fort in American history. First built for the Revolutionary War and later used in the Civil War. Fort Pulaski was named for the Polish officer who fought for the states in the Revolutionary War against England, and apparently fought with much distinction. This is where the lower row of cannons was in this fort. You can see this 42-pound smoothbore sitting here ready to go, ready for use.
This is what it must have looked like from the top here, shooting out into the water at the Union soldiers up top. His guns didn't quite make the impression that they thought they would.
Part of the heritage of this fort, too, is that after it was captured by the Union side during the Civil War, it became actually part of the Underground Railroad. A lot of slaves were brought here to begin their journey north into freedom. Also, a lot of slaves were just summarily freed here and went to work for wages.
One of the notable things about this fort is how well it was built, even after 30 hours of bombardment by the North during the Civil War. The brickwork on the interior primarily remained totally undamaged. There aren't even any cracks in it. Although I think it was in 1862 a Union barrage finally knocked a corner off the fort near one of the magazines, and the Confederate commander had to surrender at that point or risk losing the entire fort and all the men in it. The Battle of Fort Pulaski also marked a change in modern warfare. The Union bombardment from Tybee Island, which is nearby, obviously, marked one of the earliest uses of rifled cannons, which were able to do much more damage to the fort than any other smoothbore cannon had ever been able to do, and basically was what forced the Confederates to give up the fort and surrender. And the use of those rifle cannons is probably the precursor to the end of forts like this as useful in warfare. This is the corner of the fort from the outside that the Union Army fired most of its rifled artillery at, and you can see that it made quite a few holes. And this lighter red brick, I'm assuming, is where they patched the actual holes through the wall. If you look up at that top mark there, you can see that there's still a shell stuck in the wall.
We do love our forts. Probably goes back to my old Lincoln log days. I think I have a few BBs stuck in those too. Anyway, glad you could hang out with us for a bit, and as always, we'll see you down the road.
Stop! Stop! Stop!